Hey, Vandita, can you hear
Hi,
me?
finally. Yes, I can hear you. Finally, let's go.
All right,
Um,
so are we good to kick off?
yes, definitely.
The bottom line of having this conversation is that for another individual out there,
Mm-hmm.
be it a male or a female, it'll help them out with their own journey.
Right. I was an electronics and communications engineer, and then I worked in IT for 2.5 years. And I'm studying my master's in supply chain logistics and supply chain. So
Okay.
it's a whole like
Yeah.
jumping between one thing or the other, but life has been a bit crazy in its own way, so I've just been going along with it.
Okay. All right. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. Yeah, how you
More on
navigate.
the music side, like this is like the corporate, which is like normal 9 to 5 stuff. So
Well,
yeah.
that's the important part for me. Because for
Yeah.
majority of the world,
Mhm.
it's difficult
Yeah.
for them to balance both.
Yes,
And that is
yes.
something I want to focus on in this conversation. Like, how
Mhm.
are you doing it? And, the difficult side of what challenges are you facing and all of that.
Right. Definitely, yeah.
All right, so to the listeners, welcome back to another episode on What's Your Sankalp. Today we have an incredible human being artist. To start off, Vandita Narayan. I bumped into her because of her talent in music. Is it safe to call you a musician or singer specifically or songwriter?
You can call me a singer-songwriter and an
Okay.
amateur musician because I play the guitar and the ukulele.
A Bengaluru-based artist. Is that still
Yes.
the same? Do you still call yourself a
Oh,
Bengaluru
yeah,
artist now that
definitely.
you're in Germany? Has that, introduction changed?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I still I feel I'm still a Bengaluru-based artist, even though I'm here. I mean,
Right.
I just moved here like 6 months ago, so I wouldn't call myself a Germany-based or Hamburg-based artist, not just yet, till
Right.
do
Right.
something here. Yeah.
Okay. So in this conversation, I would like to highlight and talk about a few topics. One,
Mhm.
obviously, is about your music and your passion in that. The listeners, you'll know why I really enjoy her songs when you listen to her singing. And hopefully, that will happen during this conversation a little bit here and then. We'll be able to listen to your beautiful voice. The other part of it is how she's able to balance music and another. It's something you love to do. Engineering, is that something you love to do?
Yeah, you could say that. You could
I
say
could
that,
say
yeah.
that.
I mean, like,
Uh,
I'm literally jumping majors right now from one side to the other, but it's, you can call it the corporate side, the corporate
okay.
side.
Your music journey, let's talk about that. How did it all start for you? Like you said, is it from Bengaluru or some from other part of India or other part of the world? Or yeah.
Oh no, definitely Bengaluru. So I was always passionate about music. I used to be the kid who used to dance a lot, sing a lot in school, and always envisioned myself as one of those rock stars on stage, singing with the mic with black skinny fit jeans and a crop top
Okay.
and all that. But that was a whole other vision. But I think I picked it up a little later on when I decided to just do random 15-second covers or 1 minute covers on Instagram. Back when we had that feature in the beginning. This was, I think, around 2016, 17, somewhere then. I was in my engineering at that time,
Okay.
bachelor's. And in 2017, I decided, I attended this thing called the Under 25 Summit back in the day. And there was this open mic, and I was like really scared to go on stage to sing, but I really wanted to. And I had a friend, a person who just told me, like, Vance, I know you want to go sing. Why don't you just do it? Even if you humiliate yourself, so what? You gave it a shot. You'll know you did fine. And I went for it. I was shaking. My voice cracked on stage, but I did get a decent response. So I thought maybe there is some potential in my singing. And I've always been a bathroom singer. Like, I'm that kind of kid whose mom would be like, Vanita, stop singing in the bathroom and take your bath quickly and come out. Or, that kind of thing. And I'm also the person who sings at 3 in the morning. So, Vanita, can you please shut up and go sleep? So in 2017, I picked up another friend's secondhand guitar. Like, hey, I kind of want to borrow it because I want to learn. And slowly, I started doing open mics. And then I became a regular singer, a live musician. But I used to sing cover songs, at various venues and so and so. And within a year or two, I'd completed about 100 shows. Like, I used to just take venues every weekend. I'm like, I want to do it. Like, I don't care. Like, even though it didn't pay that well. I mean, as a student, it was like really fun pocket money.
Right.
And parallelly, I used to put out covers on my Instagram and I used to get decent response, all kinds. And that didn't stop me. And I think in 2019, I started releasing original music and I had a couple of projects here and there for a movie and, for various private projects, you could say. And yeah, I think that's been the whole way of starting, you could say. Like what started off as a fun hobby or whatever, it became much more than what I thought. I could say my parents definitely pushed me
Okay.
towards it.
Yeah.
Because as a kid also, like I used to go to these school competitions, you could say.
Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't that serious at that time, but then I think later on when I started listening to a lot of pop songs, I really thought, damn, I really want to be the one on the stage, singing and people singing with me. So I could say it's a bit of my parents, family members, and also, my own drive to want to be there. So yeah.
See, a lot of people who have this engineering path, they start
Mhm.
off in school where, they are in these, good schools which, expose you to a lot of, activities and events and all of that. So, you know, I had a similar journey as well where I was part of music in my school. And then when engineering happened, yes, I was part of a few events here and there outside and, inside college. And once you go out of your home, your home country, and then you try to pursue a degree abroad, those that passion that you have or that interest that you have in music, for most people I feel like it goes down a bit because of the responsibilities that you have that come up as you leave home, right? So
Yeah.
I want to talk about that journey of yours, how you're able to balance both. And has it been easy or not to continue pursuing that music journey? Because I feel from what I've learned about you, you've done a majority of your you've had a majority of your success, I feel, already when you were in India. Being part, like you said, in
Mhm.
on a lot of shows, being interviewed, being uh, being part of events, and maybe were you on Spotify already by the time you moved out?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes. So you've done a lot already, and I guess it was sort of easy for you to establish for yourself out there in India. And then once you came out to another part of the world, how has that transition been for you? Because a lot of people have interest in music, and then once they go out of country, they lose track of it, and
Yes,
that's
yes.
sad. It's sad for me that people face that. But yeah, go ahead.
Hmm. Well, so when I first moved here, I was honestly a mess. Like it was a big time mess because I kind of lost one bag, my cabin luggage in the train. Okay, let's start with that. I was alone. It was quite an experience, and not just that, like settling into the new routine, and I had to leave my guitar behind, which I'm still like a little upset about. I still haven't gotten a guitar here. I've just borrowed a friend's guitar. I'm like, hey, I want your guitar. Give it to me. I'll give it back to you in a few days. But
If it makes
uh,
you feel better, I left my drum kit back home, so I can totally relate to
no.
you. At
You
least you
get
could
it,
have
right? So
carried your
grateful.
guitar with you, but I can't carry the entire drum
Oh
set on my back.
no.
Yeah.
Oh no. I had to pick between my ukulele and my guitar, and my ukulele has a very sentimental value. I hold a very sentimental memory with it. So I was
Okay.
like, you know what? I'm gonna take you, and anyway, baggage claims. They're not gonna make a whole big deal out of it for the small instrument.
Right.
So it's been really challenging. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I haven't really done anything actively in music yet. But however, though I've not done something really active, I've been practicing. I'm actually trying to learn the keyboard right now, just adding another instrument in my, I know like four chords at the moment, and I poorly play it right now. So that's something good. But however, I've been working on my songwriting skills. I know for a fact that, when you try to settle into your new schedule and figure out your life here, it's not easy to actually hit the studio. And I've been trying, honestly. It's been 6 months. I've been trying to do that, but every weekend there's one thing or the other that comes in between. However, I've been working in the shadows.
Okay.
And I have
Right.
this producer from India who's been really patient with me. Amazing. Shout out to Satish for this. He keeps sending me beats, and I really just like write down an idea and I keep it aside, and then I come back after a week and then I try to figure it out, whether it's whether it has potential to work on. So and there are a couple of open mic events over here. I Because of the winter, I didn't really step out much, but now that it's slowly warming up, the weather's getting brighter here. I thought maybe I could start, just taking my ukulele out there and performing one or two songs minimum and then seeing how it goes. And I've been meeting musicians around just to gain some insight about how the music scene is over here. Yeah.
If you move to like US or Canada, I guess it's easier because the majority of the people speak the similar tongue from where you come.
Yes,
So
yes.
how was that for you?
Oh, it's been a really fun challenge. I'm actually learning Deutsch. Ich lerne Deutsch, aber ich kann sprechen ein bisschen Deutsch. That's my go-to sentence, like telling I know little German. And it's been actually fun. Like
Okay.
the city that I'm in, most of them they've been really accepting for the fact that I'm still learning German, and it's amazing. Um, it's really challenging, but hey, I feel like it's very valid to learn the language when you move to, a different city or a different
Yeah.
country. It's important. It's their culture, and you have to go along with it too. And yeah, it's been a bit challenging, but then I try to make the most of what I get. So yeah.
Have you been trying to incorporate the new language into your shadow works that you talked about?
I'm trying, but my grammar is not that great. So I run it by a friend or two, and then I'm like, is this grammatically correct? Have I mentioned it right? And they're like, yeah, you can change this to this. And then I try to redo it. So maybe like few lines here and there. It's not
Right.
completely German, but yeah, I'm a little like shy to put it out there yet. So maybe when I'm more confident with my language skills.
How have these like collaborations impacted your music journey? Like you said, you still have someone in contact from India.
Hmm.
What if
Yeah.
you have that contact? Like, do you think it would have been still easy for you to still stay in connect with your music side?
I mean, I wouldn't say it would be impossible. It would be challenging for sure because you need
Right.
to find the right people. I mean, sometimes you find really good artists, but then somehow due to timings and then the delays and all that, it kind of doesn't work out sometimes.
Exactly.
But I wouldn't say it's impossible. I would still find a way or two to find producers around here, which I'm also doing. Which I'm also doing,
Okay.
like trying to find other musicians and see how it goes. So I did come across a few people, but it's a never ending process. You keep meeting new people and understanding how it goes over here. So
But what have been your lessons on that, on finding the right people? Because that plays a huge role in our life, right? Like finding the right people at the right time. So how
Mhm.
was that initially for you, the struggles of it? And then what advice do you have for people, or is it just going out there in the world?
So I would rather speak about this in from the beginning of my music career, not
Yeah.
just Germany, because
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, because this is something that starts from there. So I did like come across people who were like equally amazing and awesome, but then just like due to timing, like I said, timings and probably a difference in direction of how they would want to do something. It just uh goes all over the place. So
Right.
I think the only thing I would suggest is patience, because just because you might, if one thing doesn't work out, one door closes, you'll always have another door open for new opportunities. So patience is a really a really good thing to respect and have, because I used to not be so patient, and it humbled me down big time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's also kind of why I took a small break recently,
Okay.
because I had a couple of projects run down, but then again, life happens, and then and plus I was moving out, so I took a little break, and now I'm kind of getting back to it. But then again, I think another thing would be not to hold bad blood, even if things don't work out. It's okay, let go. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. You'll always find something else, and it'll work out to something more beautiful. So.
There's a big takeaway in what you just said, and it's very
Mhm.
underrated, is what I feel. The word
Mhm.
patience. People need to understand this better. So, if you can give like
Yeah.
a little bit more specific example of your initial journey in music, which goes back to
Mhm.
that. So, you were performing maybe on a very small scale, maybe like within college or something like that on stage. And then, how did that transition to performing with more artists outside your little bubble? How did you find that? Do you remember any specific memory of an event or people that you met, a bunch of folks, who escalated, who catapulted your journey from being, a small bub
Oh,
artist to another world?
Oh yeah, so I think I can take another take an example of this artist friend of mine. His name is Rishabh Narayan. When I started music, I didn't even know he existed. There was
Right.
another artist who I just randomly met at the event, and he said, "Hey, I have a friend, and I think you guys could collab and work on stuff." And he's actually one of my best friends. And because of that, this was back in 2017 when I just started off. I was not that great with my singing skills. I could say I was still starting off, and I was trying to figure out my voice, but he's always been around, and we used to practice singing, and we used to jam together pretty often. And last year, for my show with the Gazy family, I had a recent show with them in Mumbai at the Geo World Drive Mall. he accompanied me over there, so he's always been that artist who inspired me to work harder. And there are many other artists also. I had another guitarist called Soja Ghosh, and various other people that I've worked with, which I can't name right now. It's like
Yeah.
there's so many of them. Okay,
Yeah.
like you guys who if I didn't call out your name, please don't mind. Okay? I'm sorry, but the people that I've performed with, they've always inspired me, and they've always challenged me. Like, hey Vance, you're singing this exactly how it should be, but you can improvise it by increasing the pitch. You can, expand your range. There were all rappers like Gubbi, Madura, and Kata, John on the Beat, and so on. So like these guys have everybody. They've been around me who have inspired me to do something more than what I'm doing. And honestly, it's been something amazing. Yeah.
What kind of genre of music does Vandita usually sing, and how has that journey initially started? Was it always the same?
You could say a little, not the same, but not too different. I think I started off with just pop songs, like the
Okay.
popular ones, like "I'm in love with the shape of you" and all that stuff. Okay, like at the venue, depending on the crowd, I used to just sing the popular songs that they would prefer. But I'm still exploring my sound, to be honest. I think it's a never-ending journey again, right? So you
Right.
you, you think you're comfortable with one genre, then you find something new, and you're like, hey, maybe I want to try something out. So I've done indie pop. I do enjoy rock, and I think the next following genres that I'm trying out are drum and bass, lo-fi, and then something like 80s synth retrowave. So you could say I'm trying to be a musical cocktail at this point, full of surprises.
Well, it must have started because of a certain artist that you looked up to, like
Oh
where
yeah.
the inspiration come from for your voice.
Yeah, if you all know me personally, it's definitely Lana Del Rey. Like she
Okay.
has been my backbone for everything. She's my religion in some ways. Apart from her, I used to listen to artists like Halsey, Melanie Martinez when I just started out, Linkin Park, Green Day.
Okay.
Um, well, System of a Down. Yes, I do listen to System of a Down.
Okay.
And yeah, I think those are my artists, you could say, that started, pushed me. Now I listen to anything and everything. If I get a chance to, I just listen to it. So
When we're talking about your voice, it's only fair for the listeners to listen to it, hear your voice. So if you could do the honors of, maybe sing one of your songs, because I love them. I've been listening to a lot
Mhm.
of your songs. So if you find a statistic saying someone's listening to your song every day, that's probably me.
Oh my God, that's
So
so sweet.
yeah.
Do you have any preference, or do I just pick a song? Like how do you want to go about it?
Well, well, for the listeners, the name of the songs are not your everyday cup of tea that one of the names associated to. Some of them are walking piece of art. I think that's one song that I really enjoyed. So I'm not gonna say that one, but whatever is your favorite, go for it.
Oh
Yeah.
no. Okay.
Because for listeners out there who are listening to you for the first time, no pressure on you. Song that they'll remember.
It's
Yeah.
like no pressure, but pressure. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I need to think something. Uh, okay. Maybe I could actually go with Walking Piece of Art. So my,
Okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I think I'll sing from like the second verse, like, it takes two to run a show, but you don't want to make it easy. I just can't let you go for a new beginning. Light it up and pour it down. It can be tough when you're around. So place me in your worst for now. Your healing wounds can fade me out. You bet that you're a walking piece of art. So you shoot your colors right into my heart. You fill up all the spaces in the past to paint a bigger picture in the dark.
Beautiful.
Thank
Drum
you.
beats are playing in my head while you sing the song and the drum beats. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
From what I've learned about you and the songs that you've been part of so far,
Mhm.
that you draw life experiences. Is it from your own life or someone else's life that you look at? How do you draw your inspirations for the lyrics behind these songs?
I think I could say I inspired from my own life,
Okay.
because I just like sometimes I really suck at expressing through normal words. I do not know how to word sometimes, but
Right.
then I think the best way I could express is by writing a song, or singing it. Like if I want to talk to someone, I'm like, I don't want to tell you normally, so I'm going to sing a song that means what I'm going to tell you. But I think that used to be my form of journaling, you could say. Like
Right.
I wouldn't really specifically tell you like, hey, what's going on in my life, but then this is what I'm feeling right now. So that's why I wrote this. So
No, no,
But yeah, inspiration can go in any way. So sometimes I just look at something, I'm like, oh wait, that looks writable, and I just write it. So yeah.
now don't make it sound too easy, Vandita, because that's how I felt back then. I could just write down my feelings, one sentence at a time. And I looked at, my own words that I wrote down. That didn't really make a song out of it. So please
Oh.
walk us through how is that how you always were? Like maybe you like writing down things, rhyming things or things that you liked, a quote or something like that, and then that transitioned to a paragraph and then eventual.
You could say that actually, pretty much. So the thing
Okay,
is, I don't follow the norm. I don't really keep the rhyming scheme in my head while I'm writing. I just
right,
write what I feel, and
right,
then I see, okay, does this sound, singable? And then I start rearranging the words or finding a replacement sentence for it, so that there's a good flow of lines. I think that's the best way to say it.
right,
And then I would just like probably take my guitar or my ukulele and then like try to put a tune to it, and then I push it to my producer. I'm like, yo, so here's a melody, here's what I'm doing. Tell me what you think. Is there something I can do better? And then they would come up with something. And I always tell them, like, hey, come up with your own thing. If you feel something that I'm not looking at properly is something that you can do better, that then go ahead, tell me. Like, don't think that it only has to be from my end. Like, creativity works both ways. So
right.
go crazy, go nuts with what you want to do. So for example, for Walking Piece of Art, actually the beat was done before I wrote the song. Like I had this
Okay.
producer, his name is Basic, and he just sent me this beat like, hey Vance, I G minor, take this beat. And I
Mhm.
really liked it. I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna write on this. And then I just randomly wrote like what I felt when I heard it, and
Right.
based on a situation I was in at that time, you could say. And yeah, and that's
Did
how
you
the whole
did you
thing
have any
happened.
music education as such, or is this all from
No,
YouTube and
just
looking
YouTube,
at
just
people?
YouTube, listening to artists all day, singing in the bathroom, singing at
Right.
3:30 in the morning. Yeah.
Okay. Going back to personal experiences being part of your song and the lyrics,
Mm-hmm.
people have find it difficult to share their emotions and thoughts through simple words, and
Mm-hmm.
now here you are putting it in the form of a song and sharing it with the entire world. How does that make you feel? Do you feel vulnerable? Has that started off initially and now you're comfortable in the form of the way you express yourself?
I've honestly, I know like it's supposed to make me feel vulnerable, but it doesn't. It actually makes me feel very powerful when I mention, when I sing it
Okay.
out to people, because hey, if you relate to it, sing along. Even if you don't, if it sounds nice, then sing along. If you don't like
Right.
it, it's cool. It's cool.
Right.
And but it's been really nice because I did have a bunch of responses where people really enjoyed it and also found it relatable. And even if it's not, it's like it's my way of at least the least expectation I have out of my songs is, hey, at least when I look back, I can just say, hey, okay, I felt it all, and I wrote a story on it, like the whole, my musical
Right.
journey. I wrote something about it, so it's cool. I can look back and be like, at least I did this, and it makes me happy.
Right. Now that you're in a different part of the world, how has that affected your thoughts and songwriting process, if at all? Like, do you draw any inspiration from the new culture that is around you? How has that been for you?
Honestly, I think after coming here, the first thing that taught me, I mean, the first thing that I learned rather was you can always take a step back and live life a bit, because back in India, I used to work in IT for 2.5 years. So I used to do the 9 to 5 from Monday to Friday, which wasn't really 9 to 5. You work all the way till 12 in the night because nobody really cares. And then Saturdays, I used to do my freelance job as a ukulele tutor with Cadence. And then Sundays, I used to shoot, like, just go record or shoot something. So I basically did not have that personal life touch, you could say. But after coming here, because you have the whole burden of 9 to 5 removed, and now you're studying. I'm doing my masters, right? So I am forced to have personal life now,
Okay.
and I wasn't okay with it at
Is that
first.
a blessing in disguise, you're saying?
At first, it didn't feel like it. I was like, oh my God, I cannot sit empty like this. I need to do something in life. But then I just took my bag and I'm like, you know what? Maybe I can just go to neighboring cities, actually observe things around me. Because when I look back, I don't really have that many memories of vacations and, like personal life wise. All I think of is, oh yeah, music, I did this, work, I did that. And then, so that is one thing. And I do write stuff now. It has definitely opened my, mind in a different angle. It's always, I think within time, you always improve in a way or other. Like the experiences that you have, they teach you something different. And it has definitely changed my outlook on things. I don't just want to write about what I'm feeling, or I also want to write what's around me, what I observe, and what can be expressed better than just speaking about it. So,
Right, right. For the beginners out there, can you suggest, like, you need to have these 3 or 5 things in
mhm.
and around you to write a song and put a song out there, even if it's on Instagram and not on Spotify or YouTube,
Right.
something like that. Because for me as a podcaster, if I call myself that, I just need a laptop and another human being like you and a good thing and all of that. So how does it work for a singer?
Honestly, I feel because in the beginning I faced a lot of criticism. I'm not gonna lie. Like they were like, "Oh my God, she can't sing for shit." I still get it. I'm like, "Boo you!" I'm still doing it anyway. So at first, I used to really feel, very conscious about it. I used to think that, "Oh no, maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe I shouldn't do it at all." And I think it just sucks that not everybody is gonna like what you do, and it's okay about it. I mean, live and let live. So if you want to do it for your satisfaction,
Right,
and always work on improving. If you think, like, hey, maybe I can improve it at least by a percentage, it counts, because it took me a while to realize that it's okay to take your own time to improve on your craft. And I think one more would be patience.
right.
uh, that's been something that I have, it's a challenge,
Is
not
it
gonna
is
lie.
it okay to call you different, Vandita? Is that okay? For someone to be, different. For
Hmm.
example, the songs that you're saying, the lyrics that you have, the thumbnails, or the covers
Hmm.
that you have for those songs. I remember that tripped on a stone. You have yourself,
Yeah.
I think, in the photo, actually tripped on the floor. So it's very different the way that
Hmm.
you are as an artist. So what do you have to say that for the people out there, you don't have to be the same
Oh,
as
you don't, you
someone you're
don't.
looking up to, maybe, oh, I like that singer Taylor Swift or Lana Del
Yeah.
Rey or whatever, right? So what do you have to say about that?
I feel like it's honestly, yeah, you could like try to take inspiration from other artists or be just like them, but I think as an individual, it's always the best to be yourself. So
Right,
even if you're damn weird, which I am, I'm extremely weird as an individual, and own it. Like it's
right.
cool. I'm not getting tripped on a stone. Thanks for mentioning that. That song was actually because I tripped on a stone, fell on my face next to the auto driver, and he was just like, "Are you going to get in or not?" So that's what made me write the song. For the cover art also, I fell 10 times, sprained my wrist because I kept
Painful.
landing on my hand. It
Yeah.
was worth it in the end. But like, do you, like, if you feel, if it makes you happy and if it fulfills you, just go ahead regardless of what you feel. Yeah.
On that note, I think we should listen to the song Tripped on a Stone, if that's okay. Yeah.
The story unfolds as I play these cards. It's hard, I hope. That's what she said. To start the fire in your heart so that you don't burn out. Keep guessing all along. I stay too long. Dun, dun, dun. Ooh, 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 ooh. I tripped on a stone, and this is not my fault. Yeah.
Wow. You literally like switch from, being a talking person to, this focused singer. So that is pretty insane.
It's called having multiple personalities.
It's coming out good for you. You're
It's
getting
working
gigs
pretty
and,
fine.
earning some money out of it. So not
Yes,
a bad
yes.
disorder to have. Welcome back. We have Vandita Narayan. Yeah, with just a few songs under her belt, I'm definitely going to say that you have, created a name, a brand for yourself as Vandita Narayan. I want to ask you, like, how do you determine the success that you've had so far? And has the meaning of success changed for you? I'm going to say at a very early age, you've accomplished a lot already. I mean, at least if you ask your younger self, what would you have, asked, you know, X amount of followers on Instagram, and then, Spotify, being verified, being interviewed, performing so many gigs. There must be a certain thing that you must have had on your mind, right, initially. And how has,
Yeah.
evolved over time? How do you determine your success now?
Wow. Okay. So in the beginning, I think my way of success was being able to go on a stage and sing
Right.
when I started off, because It's not easy. It wasn't easy. I used to have a lot of stage fright, but
Right.
then hey, I love it now. I can't get enough of the stage. But I think success changes over time. I could say the idea of success. Now I think my idea of success is finding fulfillment in what I do. By the end of the day, I want to make sure that hey, I did good. I did this right, and
Right.
I think I could say in the beginning it was a bit number specific. Like I need to, get out there, get so and so followers, make sure that I'm growing in music, and that was the initial plan, which is still there. But now it's like in my own terms because there's a lot of other responsibilities that come into picture, and for me, I think I just want to make sure that after 20 to 30 years, I look back and I'm happy with what I've done. Like lived my life that way, the way I wanted to. So I think that's how I see it now. If I go back to my younger self and tell her that, hey, Vance, you've done so much and hey, you're in Germany right now, she'd lose her shit. She'd be like, excuse me, what? Really? Entschuldigen Sie bitte? No. I think
Any
that.
point of time did you tell yourself that? Because you know how manifestation works, right? Like
Mhm.
5 years from now, I'm gonna be doing that. That's how it worked for me. Like when I was in my engineering
Ah.
initial degrees, and I said, okay, I'm gonna go to the US, pursue my master's degree and all of that, and that eventually happened. Even though I just said it because I had to answer a question that the professor asked, so
Mhm.
I didn't really have a choice. So has that happened to you
Oh
like that?
yeah, definitely. I always wanted to be the singer on stage, like the rock star.
Okay,
You know, I always wanted to be like, I want to be that singer where people, like even if they don't know who it is, I want to be I want to be so captivating that people actually turn back and wonder, who's that? Nice. So I think I manifested that more than anything. So
what do you think are your key milestones or highlights that you can remember?
like every little goal is still a big goal for
Yeah,
me. Okay, like
absolutely, yeah.
it counts because when you start from the scratch, every little step is a huge thing. So I think basically hitting more than 10K streams on Spotify would be one
Okay,
milestone, and being featured on Rolling Stones magazine. My first feature was a quite a good one. Then also like getting playlisted on Apple Music, Spotify. Um, doing shows. I think I just love getting on stage. So traveling around and performing. To go from someone like, oh, okay, fine, someone is like, this is just what do you say, a hired singer who's going to come and sing, to yeah, we're going to have a show specifically for Vandita Narayan to
right.
perform her originals. So I think that counts as a huge milestone for me. And now I'm coming to Germany and pursuing my master's could be a big one too. Yeah.
As a podcast host, I've
Hmm.
wanted, certain individuals to, come onto the show and I wanted to have conversations with them. So for you as an artist, who were those
Hmm.
individuals that, you wanted to collaborate with and you were in disbelief once it actually happened? Has that, happened for you so far? And yeah,
Honestly, everybody that I've worked with,
yeah.
there's this duo called The Fortune, who I had a song with in 2022. And I really wanted to work with Saad Khan, the director of, I think he's a director. So we worked
Okay,
on the song called The Period Song in 2019. I got to work with this movie director called Adarsh Ishwarappa in the Kannada film industry. And recently I worked with another artist called Vasu Dikshit sir. He's coming to Frankfurt this month, and so I'm excited to go and watch him perform.
right, right.
So like getting the opportunity to work with them has been just amazing. It's unreal. Like I like pinch yourself to I can't believe it. I gotta pinch myself to know that I'm not dreaming. So
Right.
yeah.
But has it been difficult for you being in a different part of the world now, Vandita? Because you established yourself, you made your contacts in India, certain part of the world, and now here you have a different kind of competition, a lot more or a lot less. I don't know. I'll let you speak on that, the quantity of competition that you see around you, and yeah, how has that been for you?
I mean, it definitely is a challenge. I'm not gonna say it's easy because here the whole thing goes differently. So that's why I'm actually dedicating enough time to just observe. I don't want to do anything in excuse me, with impulse and then just be like, hey, I'm not seeing results. Why is this happening? So that's why I'm just observing the whole scene that happens here
Right.
and trying to understand the kind of genres that is followed over here and ways I can incorporate, all this in my music. So I think by the end of the day, apart from the crowd, it's also like for my fulfillment that I want to do music. So I
Yeah.
don't mind. I can take my time and do this. So it's not a big deal. I mean, if I did it once in India, I can do it again. So yeah.
Wow, that's a beautiful takeaway for people
Yeah.
out there that it's okay to stop, it's okay to take a break, and you're so
It's
confident about
definitely
that.
much
Yeah,
because I think I had a point of time where I was so worked up, like I was almost burnt out. It took a huge toll on me. And
right.
at first the break was very unsettling, but now I can't get enough of it. I'm like, I can take my own sweet time and then go ahead. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. I mean, also the fact that there's a stagnation at some point of time and you keep doing something repeatedly, and that's something
Yes.
that happened to me as well when I, had a little break between the shows, and then, it allowed me to have those five extra questions that I
Hmm.
could have asked. I couldn't have asked if I hadn't taken that break, right? Because I let my mind, to think about things differently, and watch my guests differently and the things that they do and see in between the lines, right? So
Right,
yeah,
right.
that's nice that I'm sure you educate that with your friends around, or maybe people that you meet.
Yes, yes,
It's okay,
definitely.
to take
I mean,
into.
yeah, hustle culture is fun, but not fun when you burn out. So it's okay to take a break once in a while. Yeah.
One thing I've realized that you as Vandita Narayan want to truly be drunk on the passion for your love for music and the
Yeah.
things that you do in life. So on that note, because I use those words in a certain way, it certainly means there's something behind it. So if you could sing the song for us.
I saw this coming the second you said drunk. I'm like, oh, it's definitely my song. Oh, that was fun because I actually first wrote the lyrics and then I
Okay.
found a beat 2 years later on BeatStar. Like, hey, this sounds just like Drunk on Passion. Like, I can sing this on this beat. So
Wait, so break it down for us. How do you find beats later for a song that you probably
I don't
created,
know.
which is very
It's a
unique?
beautiful coincidence.
Okay.
Because I didn't even, I least the waveform of the beat. I didn't even take the stems because it was structured exactly how I wrote it. And I was like, you know what? This goes well. Let me just take it.
Okay.
So, yeah, sometimes it's just a pure coincidence. Sometimes it's just the way it is, You
So you
might
said
find
you
something.
leased the waveform of the beat.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
So sometimes you just get the beat like mixed in, the waveform. Sometimes you get the
Yeah.
stems of the whole project. The waveform was good enough. I mean, it had the whole structure and I was very happy with it. So I just took it. I was like, I don't think I need the stems. I'll just put my vocals on it and then blend them together rather.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah.
For people to understand what that really means, they have to listen to the song. So yeah, if you could give a little bit of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Uh taking all the pain, cleaning up your wounds. Let's get you back on your feet. Gotta see that smile sometime in your life. Baby, I could be your fantasy. Feel me in, don't breathe me out. You've trapped me in a spell, I believe. Take control, I'll cooperate. Who cares? It's what you wanna be. I'm drunk on passion, you're intoxicated. Use the way that I'm leaving. I'm high and loving, you got me begging on my knees. Don't wanna get away from this feeling. Oh, oh, oh. Don't wanna get away from this feeling. Oh, oh, oh. Don't wanna get away from this feeling.
For an individual to be really good at what he does or he or she does, they have to really enjoy it, and it truly shows in the way you perform and sing. So I'm so glad that we get to know more about Vandita Narayan on this conversation. So I ask this to all my guests, and I have the same question for you, which is, what is your sankalp in life? Maybe the form of music that you do or the person that you are. Do you have a motive behind it? Okay, I want people to feel a certain way when they listen to the music, or discover themselves better, on those terms. What do you have to say about that? What's your sankalp, Vandita?
I think in terms of music, I think my Sankalp is basically creating my own world over there, and putting out a story about myself because I feel I'm the most authentic version of myself when I release music. Like I have 100 personalities, but then in terms of music, like it's a whole different thing. So I feel like my Sankalp in terms of music is to create my own world there, and people who really enjoy it, I want them to be a part of it. And we get along well, spread the word together, share a lot of emotions together and whatnot. As a person, I feel my sankalp would be to at the moment is to live my life and take what you get, learn a lot of things, and not be so scared of the unknown. Because I mean, when you go to another country, you're literally push towards, getting out of your bubble. And I'm figuring it out. I'm not perfect in its own way. Like I had a solo trip recently and I almost had a whole breakdown. I'm like, oh my God, I'm alone in Amsterdam. Oh God, I'm so scared. But it's cool. One step at a time and it'll be fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Vandita. It's been a beautiful journey. Well, we can't wait to see how it can get even better than what you are today. So good luck with all of
Thank you
that.
so
And
much.
one last question on a lighter note is, will RCB win this year's title?
Bruh. I'm just
You
gonna
said
say
Bengaluru
Isala.
so much, I had to ask this question to you.
I mean, I am one of those RCB fans that I'm so scared to even watch the matches, but then I will at some point. Like I do like keep an eye on everything.
Right.
Isala Cup nam de, bro. I keep telling this every time. And every time I get my heart broken, but it's okay. That's just me. General, it's cool. It's like all RCB fans. We get our heart broken, but we have a toxic relationship
You're
with
loyal.
RCB and it works. Yeah.
Well, I'm a fellow Sunriser Hyderabad, so watch out.
Ooh, okay, bro. Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you so much, Vandita, for your time. It's been a beautiful journey.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a delight. Yeah.
Yeah, good luck with all your projects coming up, and hopefully we get to talk to you sometime in this future soon about
Yes,
all
yes,
the other things that you did in between.
Yeah, definitely hope to catch up again like this. So
Keep knocking on doors and keep opening those windows out there, okay?
oh yeah, definitely Luften. Gotta do. I think right after the call I'm actually gonna do that here. So
All right, take care. Yeah, thank you so much
you
for your
too.
time.
Thank you.
All right,
Bye
bye-bye.
bye.